Hi guys, welcome back to Father and Son Investing. This channel frequently is about how you can put your money to work for you. But that's hard to put your money to work for you if you're not actually in possession of it. Did you know that approximately 1 in 7 Americans have unclaimed money out there? These might be refunds from a utility company, it could be a lost bank account that you forgot about, it could be a settlement that you didn't receive. There are multiple ways out there in which people have unclaimed money that belongs to them, but states are currently just in possession of it. This video is about how to help get it returned back to you. And sometimes these amounts can be quite substantial. Just in the searching that I've been doing in the past couple of days, I saw one person who has $3,000 that's just waiting to come back to them. In this video today, we'll talk about a number of things. The first thing we'll talk about is just what is unclaimed property. Then I'm going to show you how you can search for this for free. Yes, free. Then I'll actually walk you through a search. I found some for both my wife and for myself. And then I will show you how to go about claiming this unclaimed property so that you can get the money sent back to you. Let's get to it. All right, first let's just talk about what is unclaimed property. Well, that may go by many definitions in different states, but for instance, in the state of Indiana, their Attorney General's website defines it as unclaimed property as any asset with no activity for an extended period of time. Now, what might that include? Well, you might be looking at unclaimed wages or commissions. Perhaps you never cashed a paycheck. You might be looking at a savings or checking account that you forgot about. How about stock dividends or perhaps insurance proceeds? We give out customer deposits and overpayments, certificate of deposit, credit balances, refunds. Perhaps you had a utility account established somewhere, and when you left, you didn't give a forwarding address, and that utility company has just been waiting to give you back your money. How about money orders or safe deposit box contents? There can be a number of things out there, even more than what I've described, where a business, after again that dormant period, is required by law to report that they have this unclaimed property. And they turn that money over to who? To each individual state. Now, I have seen reports saying that there are $20 billion of unclaimed property in the United States. Based on what I can see, it's actually more than that. For instance, in the state of New York, if you go to their state comptroller site, they say that they alone have $18.4 billion in lost money. Throw in the state of Missouri, which say they have $1.4 billion, and the state of Ohio, which according to this News 5 Cleveland tweet that they sent out on June 28th, Ohio has nearly $4 billion in unclaimed funds, and you can see we're already over $20 billion, and that's just with 3 states. There's a lot of money sitting out there waiting for people to find it. All right, let's just turn now to how you can go about finding this money. It's actually quite simple. The best place to do it is to go to unclaimed.org. And this is a legitimate website. It's the National Association of Unclaimed Property Administrators. You'll see a link here that says search for property across America. When you click there, it's going to take you to another website called, appropriately, missingmoney.com. From here, you simply type in your last name and your first name, and it will actually search across the country for your missing money. So I've actually done this for myself and my wife. I'll show you how we did that, but just for ease of how simple this is, I'll just pull up a simple name like Joe Smith. And once we do that, you're going to see that there are already 5 pages or more of 20 results each, and you can start to get a feel for how much money. Now, I'll tell you that these amounts here on missingmoney.com are rather general. They'll tell you if it's over or under $100 or 25 to 50. However, there is another way to see exactly how much money you might have. The way to do that is still from this unclaimed.org website. If you scroll down just a little bit, you're going to see a map of the United States. And you can click on each individual state here, and it will take you to that state's website. For instance, Texas. And we'll just do the same thing here. We'll pull up Joe Smith. You're going to see that there, again, are a number of results, but in the state of Texas, you can see exactly how much out there. For instance, there's a Joe Smith from Toe, Texas, probably Tao, I guess, $605. It was reported back in 1995, and the state of Texas is still just holding on to it. Now, there is something important to know in that each individual state can have their own rules about how long they will hold on to this money. Obviously, in Texas, they're still reporting amounts from 1995, but in the state of Indiana, they'll hold on to it for 25 years. And after 25 years, the state just goes ahead and puts that into their own individual state coffer. Let me just show you how to go about doing this now. I've already gone to missingmoney.org and I've filled in my spouse's name, and it returned a rather large set of data, a whole bunch of people. So trying to narrow that down, I went ahead and narrowed it down just to the state of Texas. When I did that, I did find a claim for her. It is in Selma, Texas, at an apartment that we used to live in before we moved, and it was for a utility company, City Public Services, and it just lists it here as greater than $100. I went ahead and clicked on the claim button here, and that then changes that button so that it looks like this. Now, in this instance, I had already done a search for her also in the state of Ohio, so you'll see here that it says View Claim Properties 2. In this case, then, you just go ahead and click on View Claim Properties, and it will bring up the properties that you've claimed, and then it's going to ask for some information here, the claimant relationship right there. What you will do is go ahead and pick the appropriate option. In this case, she's the owner, but you'll notice that there are a number of options here. For instance, if you are an heir of someone who has passed on already, yes, you can claim to inherit their missing money. So keep that in mind. If you're an heir, you might want to be searching not only for yourself, but for the person who has already passed on. You can, if you are the owner of a business, you can also go ahead and claim that money in behalf of your business. You can see the different entities there. You'll go ahead and click on the appropriate one. In this case, it's going to be owner. In the next one, it's a similar sort of choice. We'll click on I'm the owner, and then we go ahead and click on the File Claim button. When you do that, it's going to bring up a page asking for a whole bunch of data, including your name, your birth date, contact information, and your social security number. Once you have entered all that data, it's going to bring up a page that says Preview Your Claim. You'll check to make sure the data that you put in is correct, and it's also going to ask you essentially for an affidavit, an electronic affidavit here, where you're just going to verify that what you are doing is correct, that you are the person who's owed the money, and you will click that button there, and you'll go ahead and type in your name here. Once you've done that, you're going to click Submit. Once you've done that, you'll get a claim summary. In this case, she had one for Ohio and one for Texas. It says that your claim has been submitted successfully, but it's not complete yet. Within an hour, they will email you some instructions. And lo and behold, she did get those emails. Here is what she received from the state of Texas. Now, each state will have a different form and different requirements of what they need from you in order to claim your money. For instance, in the state of Texas, they want proof of the social security number for the claimant. That's going to be a copy of the social security card. They're going to want proof of ID for the claimant. For instance, a copy of the current driver's license. If you don't have that, it says send a current government issued identification card or a passport. And lastly, in the state of Texas, they want payment or deposit receipt. For instance, a copy of any document verifying business dealings with the reporting company as it relates to the funds. For instance, if you have a canceled check to the company, that would be sufficient. If you have an old bill from the company, obviously that would be sufficient. Anything that you can do to prove that you had a business relationship. Now, one thing to note is it says, please complete and return the claim form with a copy of your identification, even if you are unable to provide all the requested documents. So if for some reason you don't have some of these documents, go ahead and provide what you can and sign the form. There's a good chance you might end up getting the money anyway. Here's another example. Here's what the form looks like from the state of Ohio. Just what does Ohio then require if you're going to be able to reclaim your money? Ohio also requires that you provide a copy of your government-issued photo ID. They also want a copy of your social security card. And you will see down here that they want some proof of address or business relationship with reporting holder. So if you can provide anything that proves that you had that address once upon a time, you don't necessarily have to prove that you had a business relationship with the holder. If you can't prove the address, but you can prove the relationship with the business reporting holder, then that also would be sufficient. You can see that there are a number of ways that you can go about trying to prove that you are the person who rightfully belongs with this money. Once you've done that, depending on what the state requirements are, what you'll do is go ahead and file the form. You're obviously going to sign this and send it in by mail. Just how long should you wait then before you can expect to get your money? That's going to vary again state by state. For instance, in this article in the Indy Star, where they talk about Indiana has 800 million in unclaimed funds, if you go on to read the article, you'll see that it says that you can expect to wait up to 90 days. Now, I mentioned earlier that about 1 in 7 people have unclaimed property. Obviously, I had some. My wife had some. I went ahead and started searching for relatives. My daughter had some. My son-in-law had some unclaimed property. A couple of my in-laws had unclaimed property. There is a good chance that you or someone that you know has unclaimed property. And don't forget to also check if you are an heir for unclaimed property in the behalf of the person who made you an heir. I hope this information was helpful for you. I encourage you to go out there and hit the missingmoney.com website. If you find some, leave a comment down below. Let's just find out how many people who watch this video have some unclaimed property out there. Leave a comment. If you found some, yes. If you didn't find any, you could also leave a comment. But if you did find some, yes. And how much money do you have coming back to you through unclaimed property? Share this type of information with a young person in your life. Yes, they can have some unclaimed property. If they do, and they're under 18, and you are the guardian for that person, you can go ahead and submit a claim in their behalf. If you have other questions regarding unclaimed property, feel free to leave those in the comments as well. If not, until next time, enjoy your investing and finding your unclaimed property.